everything that you really need to know about the immune system takes part in blood vessels. Right, so you start off by talking about there's some sort of infection. Then you can start talking about the role of phagocytes. Right, phagocytes are there to go and ingest the pathogens. The first thing that happens is that the phagocyte will go and recognise the pathogen and go move towards it. The phagocyte then goes and engulfs the pathogen in this like little case. Then the phagocyte goes and pumps acids and enzymes into where it's got the pathogen to go and break it down. That goes and breaks down the pathogen, and the broken down parts are ingested into the bloodstream. So that's the first way that the immune system can go and deal with pathogens. Right, the second way is the adaptive immune system. So the adaptive immune system relies on white blood cells. White blood cells are properly called B lymphocytes or T lymphocytes. So T lymphocytes are really there to go and coordinate the immune response. T lymphocytes will go and help the B lymphocytes go and produce antibodies. So when we go and we start talking about B lymphocytes, the key thing about B lymphocytes is that B lymphocytes are going to produce antibodies. So we start off with a pathogen going and being recognised by B lymphocyte. Right, it will go and get broken down by phagocytosis and such will inside the B lymphocyte. Right, the B lymphocyte is then going to go and produce antibodies against the antigens. So the antigens are the surface proteins on the pathogen. So our B lymphocytes are going to go and produce antibodies against these antigens. Right, to help activate the B lymphocyte, you're going to get a T lymphocyte. So it's called a T helper cell. Will go and bind onto that B lymphocyte, and that will go and activate the B lymphocyte properly and cause it to undergo clonal proliferation. Right, so this is where it's going to produce lots of clones of itself. So before the B lymphocytes start producing antibodies, they turn into B plasma cells. Right, and these B plasma cells will go and produce millions and millions of antibodies. These antibodies are specific to the pathogen, to the antigens on that pathogen that triggered the B cell in the first place. Right, after the infection is finished, some of these B plasma cells will turn into memory B cells, which will remember the shape of the antigen on the pathogen surface, so they can produce antibodies really quickly next time. Just a few key things about antibodies. So antibodies have these binding sites, which will go and bind onto the antigens on the surface. The antibodies are specific to antigens. And one other thing that can be produced, antitoxins can be produced which counteract toxins produced by pathogens because they've got binding sites on them which will go and bind to that toxin, which will go and deactivate it.